Hi YouTube, Uber Lady Charlotte here, and I thought I'd come on here and tell you about one of those dates that I had when I was on the chat line. Ladies, gentlemen, if y'all get on that chat line, be careful. I no longer do that, of course. I've just become satisfied with being single by choice. Some people single because they want to be, some people single because they have to be. And you'll recognize the difference between the two when you talk to some people. But anyway, I had talked to this guy on the chat line. This was several years ago, and he was nice. I mean, again, I'll talk to you on the phone for 3 or 4 months, because I'm looking for the sign of crazy. But he got past me with that shit. He did. He got past me with the crazy part. I didn't see it. Kept it under wraps real good, and we used to laugh and talk on the phone and have a great time. Well, he lived in Winston Salem, and so we talked about me coming to visit. Okay, I didn't want him at my house because, you shouldn't always let people know where you live. And, then I figured, well, hell, I can't go to his house because what if he tried to do something to me? So it was a catch-22. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go to his house. I'm an adult. I can handle this. It's going to be fine. All right, so I went through great lengths to go and see him. Not that I was thirsty, just I wasn't seeing anybody, wasn't doing anything, and so I figured this would be like a day trip because I was going to go up there and stay the day and come back. Now, I didn't have a car at that time. Again, I'd just gone through a divorce and lost everything basically and had to start from scratch. So I hopped a Greyhound bus. And one of the mistakes that I made was I didn't tell anybody where I was going. Always tell somebody where you're going. And I hadn't done that. Me thinking I'm so grown, I don't have to. Well, I get on the Greyhound bus and I go all the way up to Winston-Salem. And there's the Greyhound used to be near the Winston-Salem State University or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was near the university. I talked to him and he said he didn't have a car. That was a new development in our conversation. And he said he was going to send his friend. He and his friend were going to come and pick me up from the Greyhound. Now, I did take a weapon with me. I did. So when the guy arrived, it was the friend, but the dude that I was supposed to be meeting in person for the first time after all these months of talking, he wasn't in the car. So the guy comes up to me and he says, are you thus and so? And I said, yeah, that's me. I said, where's Willie? I'm going to say his name because I don't give a fuck. So I say, where's Willie? He said, oh, he's at the house. I said, so he just sent you to pick me up and he didn't want to come? He said, yeah, he's doing something right now, so he just told me to come pick you up. I said, all right. Now, again, I do have a weapon with me at this moment, at that time. So I said, all right, cool. So we're in the car, and we're driving along, and so he's asking about me, but I won't tell him but so much, because I don't want to give him the upper hand about me and my business and stuff. So he asked me how we met, and I told him, and he said, this is your first meeting, right? I said, yeah. He said, okay, well, let me tell you something in advance. And I said, what? He said, well, if Willie starts to act strange, don't worry. He ain't going to hurt you. I said, hold the fuck up. What you mean he ain't going to hurt me? He was like, well, no, you'll see for yourself. I said, no, don't do that. If something happens to me and I survive it, I'm coming after your fat ass. Because he was plump guy, kind of big. So anyway, he said, well, all I'm saying is sometimes Willie acts funny. I said, well, on the phone, he never acted funny. He was pretty cool on the phone. So, what you mean? So he was like, well, he may start talking a little bit out of his head, but he always get it back. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, Willie never talked out of his head on the phone. So he's like, and you'll see. He just a little different sometimes. So I'm like, okay. So I say, do me a favor. Before we get to Willie's house, can you take me to the closest hotel? Or motel. I don't like motels, but in this case, I'd do a motel. It was a last-minute plan. He said, sure. There's one about a mile from Willie's house. I said, okay. So we go there, and he's like, you want me to go in with you? I said, no, I'm just going to ask a question. What I did was I went inside the hotel. I told this lady everything that was getting ready to happen, and I left her my name, my address, and I left her my mom's phone number at the time. And I got a room. And I told her, if I don't come back tonight, I need you to call this number and call the police. But call this number and let them know I'm missing. So I didn't have Willie's address. I didn't never get it. So I was just in the car with this guy. And I also wrote down a description of the guy that I was in the car with and a description of his car. So the lady was real nice. And she's like, honey, you sure you want to go through with this? And I said, yeah, I'm up here now. So I'm going to go ahead and go through with it. So she said, all right. So now I also pay for my room. But I asked her to put the room in a different name. And she did. She looked out for me because I had told her what I was trying to do. All right. So I go back out and I get in the car with old boy. Okay. I didn't want my key in case, somehow something happened and he got a hold to my room key. So I didn't do the key thing. I left it at the hotel. So we get over to Willie's house and the guy said, we're still sitting in the car. So he says, let me give you my phone number in case something happened. You can call me. You call me and I promise I'll come back and get you. I'm like, you sure I need to be going in here? He's like, it's going to be fine. You'll be okay. He said, but if something really starts happening, you call me and I will come and get you. So I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. So Willie come out the door. He lived in an apartment. And he came out the door and he gave his boy some dap. And I looked at Willie. Willie wasn't ugly. He wasn't unattractive, but I'm checking him out real good. And but I noticed something about Willie off the gate. Let me tell you something. When you look at somebody and you look at them good, the way they dress sometimes will tell you a lot about them. The way they carry themselves will tell you a lot about them. And also the way that their apartment or house is set up will tell you a lot about them. Those are red flags in a lot of cases. Sometimes they're good things. Well, I saw one red flag about Willie already. So, okay, I got to go to work. So I'm going to get back later on part 2. Bye.